subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, hit the like buttons, and remember to always hit the alarms. Talking with Topher, episode 14. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a good week and a good 4th of July. I don't know about anybody else, but in my neighborhood, it was crazy. I had a neighbor 2 houses to my left, I think, lighting off fireworks that probably belonged in some type of a display or something, because the amount of bang that was going on over my house was so crazy and loud, and it sounded like he was setting off a mortar next door. And excuse me. It was really cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy watching the fireworks, but my dogs wouldn't eat. They were super scared the entire time. And, I mean, this went on for 2 days. So it was the 3rd and the 4th, and then I got people still doing it today. Last night, somebody was lighting off fireworks, and, of course, my dog... You know, they do not like that. If you have dogs, you know, they hate fireworks. They hate loud bangs. It's kind of interesting how afraid they are of that stuff, actually. Because where most people know what that stuff sounds like from watching videos and movies and everything else, where the dogs have never heard anything like that, and as soon as they hear it, they are so scared of it. I don't know. Does that go to show that, you know, maybe we should be afraid of it as well? But I just thought it was crazy that, you know, my dog wouldn't eat. He wouldn't go outside to the bathroom. He wouldn't do anything. And it was just very annoying and difficult to deal with, even though the fireworks show was really nice. Here, I can show you a small clip from my 4th of July. It's really funny. Check it out. That's fucking hilarious. I had to pick up a lot of trash and debris from it, and I had a couple live fireworks come into my driveway at one point. I was trying to get video of it. It only happened twice, and it didn't make it much further than like my little edge lawn there by my driveway, so it was all right. And yeah, I just been watching the news, and lot of fireworks friggin' exploding all over the place. Like, it was just crazy to see all the fireworks. Boston, all the major cities, especially California. California looked crazy with all those fireworks going off. It was nuts. And you know, I kind of, as much as those things annoyed me and scared the shit out of my dog, I really enjoyed the big middle finger to the governors and everybody else that were like, we're canceling firework displays, and everybody was like, all right, fine, fuck you, here we go. And they just start lighting them off. I mean, seeing the whole city light up like that was really something. You know, my neighbor, he lit off a ton of fireworks for at least two and a half hours. So, I mean, that guy probably dumped over $1,000 or $2,000, maybe more. I don't even know what fireworks cost. But I'm sitting there and I'm just enjoying the show. And, you know, he spent a lot of money on blowing things up that night. And I just wasn't part of it. But boy, did I enjoy everybody else's fireworks. So that was pretty cool. I know of a couple houses that burned down. I know a couple kids really hurt themselves by making homemade fireworks and then having them, not go off properly, and then they're blowing up their legs and they have to, go to the hospital and stuff, and they're actually being charged with, mishandling of explosives, which turns out is a federal offense, and they're actually in a lot of trouble from just trying to make their own fireworks. So, note to self, don't play with explosives. The learning experience is no good if it goes wrong, because one, you're going to learn you probably shouldn't have played with explosives, and two, I like all my digits and limbs, and I would never take the chance of hurting myself like that. So, but, yeah. So I've just been, keeping busy, still doing the run, 10 weeks now, feeling really good about it. It's just a really nice start to my morning. It's becoming full routine now. And if, I posted on Instagram, and if you'd like to follow me on there, it's TOPHER 2018. So you can go on my Instagram, check out my stories. I keep them pretty simple, mostly jiu-jitsu and talking with Topher advertisements, and then you got a little bit of my running. And it's just one of those things where if you keep doing it over and over and over again, kind of like this podcast. This podcast has become part of my daily routine now, my weekly routine. And it's so great to have. If there's something that you want to do or you've wanted to do it, then I just go do it. Go do it. Don't care what anybody has to say about it. Don't worry about who's going to hate it. Haters are great. If people are hating on you, they're talking about you. That's great. Do it. Do whatever you want to do, and just go do it. That's what I've been doing. I think this quarantine or stay-at-home act, whatever the fuck it is now, it happened, feels like almost 20 weeks ago. And, I didn't start this podcast until 14 weeks ago, and then I didn't start running until 10 weeks ago. So you just got to do it. Stop the mind and don't listen to it. Don't listen to your mind. Don't let it tell you it's tired or this isn't something that you want to do, or just don't listen to your brain, and don't listen to people telling you can't do something. If you think you can do it or you want to go do it, I suggest doing it, because now that I'm doing things that I wanted to do and things I kept putting off because I was unsure of them, that's out the window now. It's not even a second thought. And it just feels really good to finally feel this way. It's just one of those things where I'm sure we all go through it. You're just like, my biggest thing with this podcast was putting myself out online. I was unsure about it. I was nervous about it. And now I just do it every week. If people don't want to listen, they're not going to listen. If people don't like me, they won't like me. But that's okay. Because there's, 300 million people in the U.S. alone? Is that what it is? Maybe it's more. I might be off. One thing I would like to point out about this podcast is I have no factual information. I'm usually a lot of guesswork. I'm getting it set up so that if I actually want to discuss something, I can look it up and see if I have any actual information on it. But please do not come to my podcast for information. I don't have any. I just have my opinions and my stories, and I'm really just trying to stay sober. And by staying sober and speaking into this microphone and putting myself online, it helps me process my thoughts and helps me just process everything. So again, please don't come here for factual information or anything like that. If you are looking for small tidbits on how to stay sober, I hope you get that out of this. I really do. Because, staying, I don't even know if, I'm not saying I don't stay sober. Let's put it that way. I'm not staying sober. I smoke pot. I eat mushrooms occasionally. But I don't fuck with alcohol anymore. And cocaine, meth, and all that, heroin and stuff like that, I dabbled when I was younger, but luckily for me, my body hates stimulants. It hates being on uppers. So that's like cocaine and meth and stuff like that, where they're a stimulant. My body did not like those, and I did not enjoy being half asleep when I tried heroin a couple times. And I know that's not something you want to be trying. I'm not suggesting that you do that. But for me, my body was just like, this is no good. But I loved alcohol. And I still do love alcohol. That's the problem with addiction, is that feeling never goes away. And I was dealing with that a lot this week because of the fact that it was the 4th of July. It was a beautiful hot week. And I don't know about anybody else, but my main thing for drinking was beautiful sunny days. If it was a beautiful sunny day out, I couldn't wait to get my hands on a beverage. Getting my hand on that fucking drink and enjoying the sun and getting drunk out during the day and bringing it into the nighttime was just one of my favorite things to do. Now, mind you, a whole lot of crap goes along with that, and it was never, I'd have to say 80% of the time that I was doing these things, I was getting in trouble. Most of the people that I was hanging out with, I'm pretty sure they knew I was drinking, but they were all under the impression that I was not to be drinking. So it just comes with a lot of deceit, storytelling, because you have to have a story, right? I decided to drink because I had a really rough day at work. Or I decided to drink because a project I was working on just wouldn't go right. So I decided to stop and drink so I could think about it, which doesn't help the project at all. So I was dealing with that this week. It was warm, it was hot. 4th of July was coming up, and it was just, I wanted that drink. I wanted it. And then I started doing other things. I tore apart there we go. I had to change my headphones. Damn things kept falling on my ears. NaturalBossNH.com. You need to go there because they have got the best hand sanitizer I have ever used. It's in my car right now. I've already played the video for you. You guys know I'm using this during my everyday events out on the streets there and, shopping and everything else. So, again, it's NaturalBossNH.com. That's NaturalBossNH.com. Go there, sign up for the newsletter. There's going to be new products coming out, and the hand sanitizer is available today. So I suggest you get yours because Corona's not going anywhere, and we need all the help we can get to make sure that we don't catch it. So that's NaturalBossNH.com. Holidays I find to be really difficult to deal with, even with 4 years coming around the bend. Just because everybody's drinking. Everybody is drinking. Everybody is indulging in this. And it makes it hard for people like me. It makes it difficult when you go to a party. And, alcohol is just everywhere. It's advertised on TV. People are into, micro brewing. So this is like just something that is like in I feel like almost every person's home. Just because it's legal. So people go to it. And it makes the holidays harder for me it's possible that it makes it harder for a lot of other people. So what I did this week to take my mind off of those things, I just decided to finish or start a whole bunch of projects around my house that have not been touched in weeks, or they needed to get started, or I said 2 years ago I was going to get it done, and I just made a laundry list for the week, and I ended up almost accomplishing them all, but it was enough to keep me from going back to drinking. And it's just it is tough. I'm out there driving around, and you pass a liquor store, or you go grocery shopping, and you walk past the aisle, and it's just like everything is so tempting. And then I always have to go back to my head and go, okay, you need to stop with this. And yes, sometimes I would add in like sugar, or I'd have a kombucha, and that helps ease that, and it helps it kind of fade away. But I was trying not to do that this time. I was actually trying to mentally tear down that wall in my head. Get rid of that feeling that it's so weird. It's hard to describe the feeling. It's not a need. It's more of a want. And it's just very overpowering. It comes on, and it's super strong, and it's more than thoughts. You get feelings, or sometimes like when the rain rolls in, I get a certain scent, and that scent reminds me of drinking. And it's all of your senses can trigger this feeling, at least for me. And I just had to load myself up with busy work. I needed a lot of busy work in order to kind of suppress this. And so, I did more work in the podcast room. I had to put a hot and cold water spigot out on the outside of the house, which has never been there. We had a cold one, but it would leak everywhere if you left it on, so you had to run into the house to shut it on and off, and it was just a pain in the ass, and now you don't have to do that anymore. I actually have both spigots outside, and if I go outside and turn them on, they will start running. It's amazing. It's the first time it's ever happened in 7 years. So, little things like that. If you've been living in your house and you just got this one thing that's been annoying the fuck out of you, get it done. Just go do it. It feels so good once you finish it. And it's like sometimes after finishing a project like that, I would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to celebrate and have a drink. And it's like, no. I'm just going to go smoke a joint. I'll be fine. Smoke a joint, go outside, enjoy the sun, take care of those energies, and just suppress that temptation to drink. And it's just been working for me, and I hope, and it's taken a long time to figure these things out. And I hope people out there can find what works for them. Because what works for me may not work for everyone. Or anyone. I don't know. So that's what's been going on with me for the week. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located in between Home Depot and Smoke Rings on 180 Lafayette Road. Feel free to give us a call, 603-814-4171. We are open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m., and you can come in our store as long as you wear a mask. So we have so many disposables right now that I have these things everywhere in my store. We have got over 200 flavors now. It keeps growing. People will not stop making these things right now. So I've got every company that I actually carry e-juice for coming out with these disposables with the juice that I already carry on the shelves. And it's amazing because if you've tried the juice, the disposable is just as good. This company here is called Profit. These guys have amazing flavors, and now they finally put them in a disposable. These things have 800 puffs, and they're $15 each. It's just a great deal. I've also got a brand new line from Ripe. This stuff is awesome. It is called their brand new Gold Edition Gold line. And I mean, I've been trying these for the last 12 hours, maybe, about a half a day now. And this stuff is awesome. I mean, I've loved and enjoyed all their flavors before, but these three right now, I mean, you've got a Tropical Rainbow Blast, you've got Banana Berry Bunch, and you've got a Pear Apricot Papaya. I mean, these are just great flavor combos. It's a great, smooth, nice vape. I personally vape at 35 milligrams, but I have it in that. I have it in 50, and I got it in regular e-juice. So if you do enjoy your 0, 3, or 6, I have those available as well. These are all brand new products in the store this week. I'm very happy to promote them and advertise them, and I hope that you come on down, check us out. And again, that's New Hampshire Vape Gallery, located at 180 Lafayette Road, in between Smoke Rings and Home Depot. And you can give us a call anytime, 603-814-4171. We're open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. So I hope everybody out there, is doing well. I don't know if they've opened up places where you can go and do like a AA meeting or any type of stuff like that. I hope they have. I felt like when they closed them because of all of this bullshit, that was like the wrong direction to go in. There should have been something set up for that scenario, because I mean, they made liquor stores essential and closed AA meetings. And I know I don't use AA meetings anymore, and I only did because I was told to by law. But I know for a lot of people out there, those things are very important. So I hope that everybody out there found the help that they needed to at least keep their sobriety. Or just, if you're staying off of one thing, then I hope there was some way for you to do that. And that's what I've been trying to do with this podcast. I know I've been telling crazy stories, and that's because I want you to know that the stories are only there because of the alcohol. And now I can look back on a lot of those that are 25 years old, and I don't really laugh, but I use it as a tool now, so that I never go back to that place again. I tell these stories, and it helps me remember why I don't want to drink anymore, why I keep coming on to this podcast, and I keep doing this podcast, because it's really helping me stay off alcohol. And I did struggle a little bit this week. It's tough. My wife still drinks, her friend still drinks, and they come over and they like to drink together. And I do find that tough sometimes. Sometimes I do find it more difficult than others. But again, I use my tools and I keep my head up and I just keep doing what I need to do to keep myself from falling back into that old pattern. And now, with this new tool I'm using, I'm reaching people. I am so happy that I have this, and I finally utilized it, and it just keeps growing. I've asked everybody to subscribe, and you guys are. People are subscribing. People are liking my videos. So the other thing I wanted to do is I set up a separate email, and it's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. So that's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And if you have comments, questions, anything like that, if you don't want to leave them on YouTube, go right ahead and send me an email. I mean, I don't have, hundreds of viewers or subscribers at this moment in time, but I would love that. But I know there's a bunch of people out there listening. You guys have actually, there's a couple of you that have come into the store and let me know that you're enjoying the podcast. So now I wanted to give you a way to reach out, in case you didn't want to leave any comments or anything on YouTube, because it is public. So if you have any questions, comments, maybe you've come up with some tools that have worked better for you to stay sober and you want to share them, that's great. I'm always open for new learning techniques. So I have made that available. I am slowly working on a website. I don't know when that's going to be up or running or anything like that, but I'm working on it. And, bunch of the stuff going on right now because of the pandemic, which I recently heard was not going to be called a pandemic anymore because there's not enough people dying from it anymore, which is good news, even though we're having a giant spike. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people know, that some comics got sick. There's a whole bunch of fucking people getting sick right now from this COVID thing. Whether it was from bumping fists or if it was from, protests. And I'm not against protests by any means. But we have to know that if you were out there without a mask, just because you were protesting, doesn't mean COVID's like, oh, these guys are protesting, we're going to leave them alone. So I think everybody should take this seriously, because I've heard a lot of stuff about, oh, this is a flu, and as far as I know, and I'm not a doctor or scientist or anything else, but the flu goes away in the summer. There's very, very small amount of people that get sick in the summer. This hasn't gone away. It's getting hot out, and it's still here. We still have to protect ourselves from this. So, does that make it a flu? I think not. And, I do offer people to come into my store, New Hampshire Vape Gallery, with a mask. And I've had a few people get very upset with me that I was asking them to wear a mask inside. And I find this to be very silly. I'm not looking at the mask as a political thing or a right or left wing thing. I'm looking at it as a safety thing. And coming from a small business, because corporations are much different. They follow federal guidelines. So when they make something mandatory, corporations follow that guideline. Now, masks were not made to be mandatory by federal government. I do know that. But they are making it mandatory for their employees to wear it because they can't control the public, where they're bigger and, they can't stop everybody at the door and ask them to go put on a mask. Now, the small businesses can. And I'm putting this out there because I've actually had a couple arguments with people, and I am not willing to allow you into the store without a mask because of the fact that I do not want to get sick. Now, on the other hand, I do kind of want to get sick so I can just get over this and be done with it. And I feel like a lot of people are starting to sway that way. Like, we're just tired of walking on eggshells in a sense and want to get it so that we can just be over with it. But they, other things say that you can have the antibodies and you, 1, could contract it again, 2, could be 6 months before you contract it again, or 3, it could be a year. So basically, they don't know if you can contract it a second time after you get it. So even that thought process is not a good one to have. It is a respect thing. I find that if we were to think about it as a respect thing instead of a political or you're taking away my rights or anything like that, no, I'm wearing my mask to protect you from me. And I want you to wear a mask to protect you from me. Because they say in a closed area, two people wearing masks, the chances of passing it on are next to none. So I believe that because we make people wear masks in the store, it's keeping me safe. And the reason for this is there's only two of us that run the shop. There's the owner and me. And that's it. Either one of us gets sick, our business is closed again. And I don't think a lot of people realize this, but we are following all the federal guidelines so that we can be open. We're not telling people to wear masks because we want to. We're telling people to wear masks because that's what the government said to do in order for us to open our doors. We had to hang plastic. I have disinfecting everywhere. Anything that gets touched, I have to clean it in between every customer. I'm not allowed to have more than 10 people in the building at once. I have a window. In case you don't have a mask, I can serve outside the window. So we have literally gone through this CDC guidelines and all this bullshit that they have written out for us, and we're following it. And when I get people that get upset with me for asking them to help keep me safe, because I'm already wearing my mask, so I'm already keeping you safe, I get a little upset. I'm like, well, I don't want to get sick because then I can't work. And if I can't work, I can't pay my bills. And right now, they said if we do all of this, we can work and you get to pay your bills. So we're following it to a T. And I just want everybody out there to think of it as the same thing. Stop with the political, with the left and the right, and you're taking away my rights and I have freedoms. No one's taking away your freedom. They're just telling you to put on a mask so that you can protect your fellow man or woman or whatever. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's very hard to say certain things now, isn't it? You know, I don't know what to say. I always want to say guys, and then you're not supposed to. And then sometimes you say girls, and you're not supposed to. So I think everyone is the key word to put in there. So I think everybody should be working together to keep everybody else safe from this virus. And that is why we require masks in our store. It's not because of anything else. It's just the courtesy of keeping everybody safe and making sure that I don't get sick, the owner doesn't get sick, so that we can continue being open and serving the public. So just throwing that out there. I just really wish people would calm down, put on the mask over your mouth and your nose. Please. If it's over your mouth, that's only protecting the out. But if you are with someone that doesn't wear one at all, now you take the chance of breathing it in through your nose, which is what the mask was supposed to stop for you. So you see, if you are wearing the mask but you're wearing it improperly, it's not doing anything. So it's not doing anything. But if you wear your mask properly, and everybody else does, we could hopefully get past this. And when the vaccine shows up, hopefully it's going to be an easy... it's not going to be easy. Nothing's going to be easy. But I'm hoping that once, if we can all follow the mask situation, we all get to a certain point, and when the vaccine's available, hopefully that day, once everybody gets their vaccine, hopefully we can take the masks off at that point. Because I don't see this going away anytime soon. And it is crazy. It is hard to deal with. We are going to have stories for, well, I think everybody else will have stories for their grandkids and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any kids, so no grandkids to speak of. So I just want everybody to understand that the reason we ask you to wear a mask is because we are following protocol by guidelines that were given to us in order for us to be open, and we are not trying to send any other message than that. So wear your mask, wear it properly, and everything else should work out just fine. Nobody's freedom's getting taken away. No one's telling you to go to the left or the right. We just need common courtesy amongst ourselves. So remember, wear your mask, stay safe, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends to subscribe to my channel, hit those alarms, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like buttons. Have a great day, enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you later.